Hi homeschoolers, it's me Jazz again from Hidden Library Homeschool, and I'm back with another homeschool video. This one is going to be a homeschool update. Last video I talked about in my homeschool favorites tag some of the things that have been going on with us, with our family and with homeschooling, but I want to get just a little bit more into what we've been doing for the past couple of weeks of schooling. So we are in week 8 of school, but we're kind of on week 7. We're a little bit behind. I'm trying to really keep to our 6 weeks on, 1 week off schedule. We were trying to do it last year, but I always felt like, we should be doing something, even when it was our time off. And I had my son, still doing math and science and this and that and the other thing. Excuse me. But this year, I'm trying to really keep to taking that time off. I'm seeing that my kids need that time off. I need that time off to regroup, to get things done around the house, and also to prepare for the next 6 weeks that are to come. And so I'm just trying to remind myself that public schoolers, they get, holidays and vacation and things like that. So there's no reason why we shouldn't also be able to get time off. I'm still having a little bit of trouble keeping to that, but I'm just having my son just read during that time off. He has to read about only like a chapter or two a day, and then he has the rest of the day to just do whatever, and be a kid. So that's kind of satisfied we should be doing something, but also we should be taking time off. So trying to keep to that. But the reason that we are a little bit behind is because of all the medical stuff that's been going on. If you take time off to go to a doctor's visit, well, got to pack everybody up and everybody's coming. So that means everybody is about a week behind with that. Some of the visits and testing have taken the whole day. Some have taken only half an hour or so, but the doctor is about a half an hour away. So no matter what, it's going to take the whole day. We're already out of the house. We're already, doing something out of the norm. So we're having to take that time off. But that has really given me a new appreciation for homeschooling. Sorry, I keep looking at my notes to make sure I'm not forgetting something, but anyway. But it's really given me a new appreciation for homeschooling. I've always loved having, being on our own schedule and doing things on our own time. But now with this, while we're still doing things on our own time, I don't have to explain myself to anyone, which I really like. I like that I don't have to get permission from the school, send in a note that I'm taking my kid back early, or try to, check on, well, they can only take this amount of time off for school before they start getting points off or something, none of them are missing anything from the school, because it's not like school is still going on and they come back the next day and have no idea what went on the day before. We're just taking the day off and picking up the next day wherever we were. So that is nice to not have to worry about anything like that. And another thing that has helped with kind of relieving stress with this school year is also, I looked up last week or so, or a couple weeks ago, where my kids would be grade-wise with school. I know it wasn't something that was a concern of mine. I know we're always reminded as homeschoolers, don't worry about that, just teach them where they are. And while that is true, that is very true, teach them where they are, I was glad to look up what ages the kids would be in what grades they would be per age if they were in public school. So while my oldest son, he has a summer birthday, I know, he's going to be the same age the whole school year, so I never worried about that. When I looked up the homeschool laws, I always looked up what I should be teaching, if or who I had to tell anything homeschool-wise about with the district or anything like that. And then my middle son, he's 5, and he'll be 6 in the spring, so I knew that he, is kindergarten age. But I'm glad I looked up for my younger son, Bruce, because he has a later birthday, a fall birthday. He's 3 right now. He's going to be turning 4 soon, and I just assumed that since he was going to be turning 4 relatively early on in the school year, that he would be old enough for pre-K. When I went to school, I had a later birthday, and I started the school year out, and I, was younger than a lot of the kids, and graduated when I was 17, but I was still able to go to school at that age. But I went to school in New York, and I didn't really pay attention to the age here, but I'm glad I did, because my younger son, if he were a public school student, he wouldn't be able to go to pre-K this year. I don't know if it's just for the district or for all of Texas, but here they say that the kids have to be 4 in order to go into pre-K by September 1st, and 5 to go into pre-K to go into kindergarten by September 1st. So he's obviously not, wouldn't make those cutoffs. And when I looked up just to kind of double check and out of curiosity back home in New York, the kids can go to school if they turn that age by December 1st. So that is a huge, huge difference, September 1st to December 1st, where a kid can be pretty young and much younger than the rest of the kids for most of the school year. So while I'm not worried about what I teach him and if he tags along and if he's learning things on time, I'm glad I checked that out because it did relieve some of the stress of me not feeling like I have to be teaching him this year. I have to be doing things with him. He can tag along, and he always just tags along. And while, pre-K was only really going to be play and reading books, it did make me feel like if he's not paying attention, it's not a big deal because he can still do pre-K again next year. And it's also helped me with, while I really do want to be homeschooling throughout, all the way through high school, it would be nice to be able to do that, but I don't know what the future holds. I don't know if I'd have to go back to work or something like that, or if something were to come up and the kids would have to go back to public school. They've never been to public school, but if they had to go to public school. So here in Texas, they take the STAR test around third grade. I think they start taking it. I don't know what the increments are after it, but I do know they take it around in third grade. So I'm just thinking that my younger son now, if he were what they were to consider second grade, but then taking that test as a third grader, that year maturity would really help him, and just what he's learned and what he's been exposed to for an extra year if he were to go back to public school. It's not something I'm really worried about, but it is kind of just nice to know that I do have that extra year to let him be a kid and also to teach him and just not worry about documenting anything or what he's doing at that age. Sorry, I'm like so out of place and scatterbrained because I'm usually over there in the corner, but my the air conditioning over here flooded out onto the floor, and it was just a big mess, and I've had to redo my floor. So I'll take you a little bit around here. You can see my huge mess. I have piles and piles and piles of stuff everywhere, out of place. But my floors are clean, so, that's a bonus. See if I can get that back up there. So yeah, that was a big thing. So we're out of our homeschool room for this week, and that's kind of put me out of place with what we're doing. I know a lot of people homeschool out and don't have a homeschool room, but for me, it just messes with my brain. That's why this week my oldest son, is pretty much only doing independent work because I don't function well school-wise outside of my homeschool room. It just, the books everywhere just doesn't sit well with me. I don't like taking things out of it because my younger son is, there's a reason why we call him Bruce, because he's very much like smash, rip, everything like that, and things would just get messed up. But anyway, so hopefully if I get this cleaned up, I probably won't get to this till this weekend or so, but hopefully if I get this cleaned up, I'll be able to do a nice homeschool room tour if I can get things back in place. So back to what I was talking about. Yeah, moving in itself, that, what does it say? What was I going to say? Sorry. My notes are not making sense. I can't read my handwriting. Anyway, sorry. I'm not really even sure what those were about. But, talking about last year compared to this year, last year I just felt so out of place with moving and everything. That's what I was talking about, with moving and everything. And I always just felt like we weren't in our groove so much last year. But then I really saw that it was not so much that we weren't doing anything. It was more that I wasn't keeping track of things in a way that made me feel like I was accomplishing things. Last year I had these, I did have some of it typed up, some of the McRuffy books, but I was keeping track of our books by writing them down. And this is just a big scribbly mess that was not working for me at all. So I really felt like we weren't getting much done. But then when I looked back at the end of the year and had, saw the pile of books that my kid had read throughout the whole year, I was thinking I just need to come up with a better way of keeping track of things. Because my older son, for fun, he read the first Timmy Failure books, the first 3 of them. He read the first 6 Diary of a Wimpy Kid books for fun. I'm not even sure, I don't really keep track of the books he gets from the library because those are just for fun. But he also read, for school, all of these books, this whole pile of books. So that was over like 40 books that I just kept track of, not including, you know, all of the other books that he's read. And so while some of the books are pretty small, like the Horrible Harry books, that's, you know, a small book. But he was 7 at the time, and my husband wanted him to read Harry Potter books. And those are a lot thicker, a lot more advanced vocabulary than some of the smaller books that I had him read aloud to me. But just these in themselves, these first 3 Harry Potter books, was enough to be like, okay, he has read things throughout the year. So I'm trying to keep track of things a little bit better and keeping things typed up a little bit more of what he is doing. I do have a little bit of room here on the back sorry, my lighting just looks like it's completely changed. But I do have a little bit of room here to write things, but I'm trying to keep it typed up. And just having this section here to be like, check, that makes me feel a lot more accomplished. And also last year I just wasn't keeping track of things too well. And our spelling, while we finished spelling, I don't have a name up here. We have 1 star on our, keeping our chart here. So looking at this at the end of the year, it made me feel like we weren't doing anything because I just wasn't, checking things off. So I'm trying to have a better system this year and check things off on everything. What was I going to say? Oh, and this year, so with all of those books, we're only, we're doing, this is week 8 of school, and we've already gotten through these books so far. So most of these are actually books that he has read. He has already read, this year, Horrible Harry moves up to 3rd grade. He's read Hallway Bully, The Three Musketeers, Gulliver's Travels. He's read Knights of the Round Table. He's read Robin Hood, The Bears on Hemlock Mountain, and All About Sam. He's also read White Fang. He's read I Was There, Shakespeare's Globe. And right now we are reading, my books are falling, Horrible Harry and the Dragon War. That's just what my 3rd grader has read so far. I have read to them The Dragon of Lonely Island. We are listening to Children of the Longhouse. I'm so glad I found this on Amazon with the Audible because some of the names what I thought they were, I'm hearing that I was completely off. So I'm glad I found the audio of this. I'm not sure if we're going to get to Omcasto, but if we don't, then that's okay. That's another thing we can do over the summer. And he is keeping track of his stuff in his worm journal. So I'm trying to, like I said, just keep track of things just a little bit better. And that has really helped me to feel like we're accomplishing things and things are getting done. But this year has also been a little bit better, too, because even with all the craziness going on, our homeschool group and people around here has had a lot better turnout. Our group that we go to at the library has a lot more people coming, double the amount of people that we've had last year. So it's a lot more opportunity for my kids to play with other kids and meet up with people. And also our homeschool play dates have worked out. People in our groups have tried to have play dates over the past couple of years that we've been here in Texas, and they all fizzle out pretty quickly. Not that many people showing up. But this year we have had such a good turnout. 25, 30 kids showing up to them. At our first homeschool play date that we went to this year, we were about an hour late because my GPS had me, somewhere that wasn't a park. So it had me driving around in circles, basically. But when we finally got there, we were an hour late, and we still were there for 3 hours. Like, my kids had so much fun there. They were, playing out here and there and, in all different directions. And, picking up different things off of, trees and rocks and just having a lot of fun, playing make-believe and jumping around the playground. And I'm so glad that there's more people showing up because that's giving them a more opportunity to make friends and things. While we do go to Ninja on Saturdays, my kids always tell me that they don't really make friends there because they're so, they're doing just what their teacher says, jump here, tumble here, do this, do that. So it doesn't really give them as much opportunity to make friends. But just having that kind of open playtime has given them an opportunity to make a lot more friends. And I'm hoping that because we're in kind of a military town, I'm hoping there's not too much moving and coming and going this year. Well, coming is fine, but going, not so much. because that's another thing that's kind of hindered what got in the way of my kids making friends is people are just, it's a transient town, so people just don't stick around too often. Is there anything else I wanted to talk about? Sorry. My notes are like too scattered to talk about things. But yeah, so we're kind of plugging along with schooling and we're getting things done. And having a clean homeschooling will probably help my mentality in the next couple of weeks. So hopefully I'll be able to get that video up soon. I have so many videos in my head planned of things I want to get done, and yeah, things always seem to get into the way. But that is what we've been up to for the past couple of weeks, and hopefully the next couple of weeks will be will go along smoothly too. I'm trying to keep updates after every 6 weeks that we've done school, but obviously if we're in week 8, I'm already off. But thanks for checking this video out from Hidden Library Homeschool. Please like, comment, subscribe below. Bye.